You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence-Coutee. You can hear Whole Mind, Body, and Soul Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr-FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network.
Peace, love, and light. You're now tuned into the most inspirational and informative show on a Thursday night. Love and happiness is truly a thing to behold. You're now tuned into Mind, Body, and Soul on yessurr-fm. I am your host, Lawrence-Coutee, also known as I am Ra-Ausar-Sara. And right now you are truly rocking with the best. I hope everybody out there in the listening audience had a wonderful day. I am super excited to be back on the air. I'd like to thank Mr. Kenneth Rose, K. Rose, for giving me the opportunity to bring my vision to life. I am super excited, family. A long time in the making. Was on the air about a year ago, year and a half ago, and things don't work out sometimes for the reason, what people see as a stumbling block sometimes is on a higher level. You always got to think that maybe you weren't meant to be there. And I believe and I know that everything happens for a reason. And if everything happens for a reason, then this is my season. And again, I am just super excited. I'd like to thank again the staff at yessurr-fm for being so supportive. I'd like to thank everybody out there who gave me energy and well wishes to keep on and pursuing my dreams, and those that encouraged me to get back online because they really appreciated the commentary that I was bringing. So, Whole Mind, Body, and Soul is a long time coming, and when I say that, I wanted to really think about a show that would bring about inspiration, motivation, education, and to bring us from a lower level to a higher level. We live in a society that's so stressed out, and we're not eating the right foods, and we suffer from poor health. Our consciousness is not what it is because we live in a world of negative images, and every day we're being bombarded with all types of negative energy and negative stories. I tell people all the time, they talk about they watching the news, and I call it the 6 o'clock blues because really, where's the good stories at? And I really believe and I know that these people are programming us. So Whole Mind, Body, and Soul is a higher frequency. The vision was to create a platform that we could come on and we could talk about holistic health. We could talk about abundance and living your dreams. We could talk about sex and relationships, and I didn't envision the show being in a box per se. I wanted to create a platform that I could bring on some of my friends and some experts out there that are in some of these fields that can get us from a lower level to a higher level. Because truly, life as we know it is meant to be lived. It's meant to be explored. It's meant to be evolving, and it's meant to have abundance. Abundance in our life. And I wanted to give to bring about a platform that gave inspiration as well. And motivation, because so many of us are stuck in jobs that we truly don't want to be in. And we're looking for a reason to step out there on faith and really looking for our purpose in life, I finally found my purpose, and I understood that the gift that God gave me was the gift to be able to speak, to the gift to be able to motivate, the gift to be able to inspire, the gift to be able to spiritually life coach, because I was once there too. I once didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I was going. I was in limbo until I got into myself, and I got the knowledge of myself, and I'm still growing, and we all are still growing because life is really about evolving, evolution, not staying where you are, It's about truly finding your purpose in this life So many people will live their lives and, hey, go to school, get out of school, have a family, work 40 years, and then, hey, they're ready for the grave. But I'm saying, what is your purpose? What were you truly put here to do? Were you put here just to work and bring someone else power and build someone else's wealth? Or were you put here to express yourself? Or were you put here to live the life of abundance that you truly desire? This is what this show is really about, Me coming on and sharing my platform with different friends and different people that are out there that can honestly tell you about the subject matters that we're going to be bringing about. And really, the show is informative, but it's inspirational, but it's going to be a lot of fun, It's just a group of people coming on and really sharing their stories, their testimonies, giving out empowerment, getting off into economics. And, hey, I thought about starting a business, bringing people on that will show you how to go out there and get it. Things that we've never been taught. The show won't be in the box. It will be outside the box in every way imaginable, because anything that's in a box and on a third dimensional frequency, there's really no room to grow. But no, this show will push those limits. We will grow together. You know what I'm saying? It might be times we laugh and it might be times we cry together. The show is about healing, lots and lots of healing, And like I said, I am just super, super excited. I cannot, again, thank, the staff at Yessurr-FM and Mr. Kenneth Rose for, like I said, giving me the platform, giving me the vision, to say, and encouraging me and encouraging that vision to say, okay, we're going to give you a chance. So, again, I'm super excited. There's so many different topics. And I like to start tonight's show off, I said when I did it, tonight's show would kind of be laid back, but I'm going to bring on some guests. But I call them my guests, but actually I say they're my super friends, These are people that have been with me in my journey, and I've watched them in their journey, and we've shared, similar interests, and we've encouraged each other in our walk together and different paths, we encourage each other, So I want to bring on some of my super friends tonight. And as we get ready to lay this thing out, it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. We're going to get more listeners. And again, I thank everybody that's listening. To the listening audience, I thank you for your love and support. It has been nothing but great, great energy. Okay? So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get off into it, man. Again, thanks everybody for listening. And I'm getting ready to bring on my first guest. My first guest is Dr. Tchar. She's a licensed doctor, neuropathic and Reiki master teacher, a wellness educator, a consultant. She is currently a student at the Verde Natural Healing and Quantum Healing Energy. She is the founder and co-manager of Lifebound Wellness, the Institute of Total Wellness in Dallas, Texas. Dr. Mann has been instrumental in our journey toward holistic and healthcare. Dr. Mann, are you on with us?
I am on with you. How are you today, Dr. Tchar?
I am blessed, Queen. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me on as your first guest. I am honored, and I'm always excited to be able to educate people on the proper application for health. Okay, there's so many philosophies about health, and some are true and some are impartially true. So I do like to clear things up with people because it is important that we are truly given the proper information so we can make sound decisions about our lives. So I do thank you for being on the show.
That Dr. Mann, before I start, I've got to go ahead and put this out here, before we start. And I think this would be the wise thing to do, the disclaimer, that what we're saying, that the information that you're about to receive, take it into consideration, but always consult, your doctor, or your therapist. Would that be correct?
That's correct, yes. So anything you hear today, if you're being treated by a physician, a doctor, a counselor, or a therapist, do check with them before incorporate any of these suggestions into your own personal lifestyle. So we put that out there right now. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Men, let's get right into it. Could you kind of, share with me and the listening audience about, the audience about your journey, your wellness journey, and, what led you to do what you do?
Okay, my wellness journey, as I look back in hindsight, it started as a very young adult. I've always been the kind of person who wanted to know a lot of things, but particularly I always wanted to know how to improve myself. I was big on staying fit. I even played around with not eating meat for several months. And then when I go back to eating meat, I can see the difference of my body and how I felt. And then the big attention getter that I got the flu. And I remember leaving work, and I know people, if you had the flu, you know the agonizing feeling of that. It's just a horrible, horrible feeling. I remember leaving work, and I was climbing up to the stairs of my apartment to get into bed. And I told myself, if I ever get myself back into some kind of condition, that I would really take a better approach to my lifestyle. And so from that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
I said from that, I really, after that, then I began to open myself up. And so I remember attending a health workshop. It was an alternative health workshop. It was about eating healthier, detoxing. And so from that really opened my eyes. I said, detoxing? So I took myself on a 10-day detox. And I was amazed of what I noticed about my body. And I liked what I noticed about my body. I continued the journey. I took some courses. I did some certifications. I started my own nonprofit organization to help women about with their health lifestyle. And it really wasn't till after the birth of my son, who is now 11, that I began to really get back into the holistic health. I took myself on a 14-day detox at that time. And then something was gnawing at me to go on for maybe 7 more days. So it was a total of 21 days. And out of that, I birthed the businesses or the thought or the idea of becoming a naturopathic doctor, a wellness coach. So I started seeking that information, went to school, became a licensed doctor of naturopath, and I started a business on wellness. And just to finish up with that, I took the experience that I had, and I said, I know how difficult it is just for me to stay on this path, so why don't I give this gift to someone else and really use my education to help people to begin a better lifestyle and to properly educate people on how to deal with their own lifestyle and their health.
Okay, let me ask you this. At that time, did you know anything about, holistic health or this is the natural way? Was it books, or when you got sick, who kind of sparked, that say, hey man, let me start to look at maybe this alternative way of, really, eating right or healing myself, or did you just seek that information out?
Like I said, it wasn't until after I got sick, and then it was I don't remember the sequence, but I remember attending an event on holistic health, and it was about Dr. Queen of Four. And she really opened my eyes. I was like, detox, what is that? So I bought the book, I bought her book, and I started reading it diligently, and then I started looking at some of the other books that she had used as references, and I started reading those. And so I just become more hungry for the knowledge of self-preservation. To live, how to live better for myself. I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking, I stopped partying because I wanted to do better for me. And so that was the commitment I made to myself.
And that journey began about how many years you would say? That when you first made your, hey, that's it. I'm letting go of the cigarettes. And, I'm not drinking. I'm not partying. I'm gonna start taking care of my body. How long ago was that journey?
Was probably about 26.
Okay.
26 years old. 26 years old.
You caught it. So with that being said, I mean, a lot of our listeners may not know what is, holistic and alternative wellness, because, they see it and they be like, well, you don't eat meat no more. But can you kind of define what it is?
Okay, well, let's understand first that holistic wellness is not a new term, nor is it a new practice. It is relatively old as man. It is a set of practices for maintaining optimum balance of your whole self. It's maintaining your mind, your emotions, your health, the physical body, our spiritual connection with our fellow man, nature, in the infinite universe. It's about being connected to the oneness of all. And so it's a balanced approach. And so it's not just go running or lifting weights or just eating properly. It's doing all of it at one time so that we can grow all at one time. You know, we're not lagging in the emotional part. We're not lagging in the health. We're not lagging in the spiritual. But it's all of the approaches at one time. Let me further expound that the ultimate goal for any doctor of naturopathy or naturopathic physicians, wellness life coaches, chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapists, light work healers, aromatherapists, Reiki master teachers, holistic practitioners, nutritionists, herbalists, homeopathy, whatever it is, whatever the alternative practice is, the goal is always to assist the individual in maintaining and obtaining optimum health. So, and those approaches are governed by the philosophy of holistic medicine. And I'll just share three with you. One is to treat the person, not the disease. So when we treating the person, we're looking at all the different aspects of a person's life, their emotions, how they deal with things, their thoughts, the things that bother them, the stress, the food, the exercise, sleep, all of those things. That's the whole person. And then we understand that each person has the innate ability to heal themselves under the right condition. Okay, so God has given us everything we need within ourselves. Okay, the last thing I wanted to share with is that the approach for healing is for the causation and not the symptom. So we're looking at the cause for why this person or how this person got in this state, okay, and not treat just the symptoms of it. So those are just a little bit about holistic wellness with your question, Brother Sarah.
Well, before I get into the question of what are the services and what do you do specifically, I just want to expound on Western medicine versus Eastern medicine. And a lot of the things that we see that Western medicine will give you something to treat a symptom, but they're not treating the cause, the root cause of it, or they give you a pill for something. But you're saying that holistic medicine encompasses everything from the mental, the physical, you know what I'm saying, and maybe even the spiritual. You know, that would be correct?
Right. Well, the traditional medication, they do have their part. I would consider those traditional medicines as things that pretty much got out of hand. So they do serve their purpose within the medical industry. But sometimes when people are feeling ailments, there are things that people can do before they get on medication or before they start going through surgeries and things like that. So there are things that people can do. And I remember being a young child that my physician did tell my mom certain things because I used to suffer from stomach problems, viruses from the stomach. So they did tell me certain things about just put me on medication. So I think our traditional medical industry have gotten away from those. Not saying all in all, but I think for the most part they have. And I do know some medical doctors are getting back to that holistic approach as well, but it's kind of right now far and few between.
But are you optimistic in the future that gap will be bridged, that you will start seeing more, East meets West when it comes to, treating a patient that might be suffering from some type of ailment,
I believe that as we continue to progress in the universe, I believe that everything is going to come to light and to come to surface of what needs to come to surface, back to nature, back to the natural. So I do believe that this natural holistic practice will prevail back to the original state. I do believe that, yes.
Awesome. Now, let me ask you this. What are some of the services that you provide right now, in your practice? If a person was suffering through different ailments and they say, you know what, I don't want to, I want to see another alternative, you know what I'm saying? And I want to see some of the services that you provide. What are some of the things that you practice and you do provide to, people that want holistic health?
Okay. Before I really, really, really commit myself, because I believe I have the right to choose my clients just as much as they have a right to choose me. So before I commit to treat anyone, I first want to make sure they have committed to themselves. So the first thing is to recognize the need that there is some issues that I need to deal with, or maybe I just want to live better. So we do have this long conversation before that. I want to know what things they have done before, what things have done, what they haven't done. I want to know what have you started to do, because I think, like I said, it's not just for me to treat someone. I'm not looking for a revolving door, and I'm not looking to keep a client forever. My part is to educate. You move on. You need to come back every now and then. That's fine. But my thing and my mission is to help people to have a new mindset and creating a responsibility for themselves, so they can go out and see, what do I need? So they do need to go to a traditional doctor. They just not allowing the doctor to say, hey, do this and go on about your business. They can have feedback and forth with the medical doctor as well. So the first line of business for me is to make sure, what is your acceptance at this level? What is your level or your aggressiveness in your approach to changing your lifestyle? You understand what I mean?
Right.
So that's the first step before I do that. So some of the practices we do, the first thing is education. The other is nutritional wellness. I'm a big advocate for nutritional wellness, and one of the things that we use is nutritional scans and holistic wellness scans. And so they actually can identify any weaknesses in the body, any stress levels in the body, and we can start applying supplements or foods that are better for them to align themselves physically. We also do aroma wellness therapy. We use, because aromatherapy oils or essential oils are just as powerful as herbs in homeopathic medicine. So that's another service that we provide. The use of aromatic plant extracts and essential oils is used for the purpose of improving a person's moods, alleviating stress, as well as targeting health issues to improve the overall well-being. It provides a relaxation. So most of the time the body is stressed. We may not feel it outside of us, but inside the body is stressed. So that provides a lot of stress-relieving opportunity. The largest service that we provide is actually helping people to convert their lifestyle. So this really takes a lot of education, talking back and forth, really getting into the wholeness of that person. What are your thought patterns? What do you think? What kind of things that bother you as a child? What kind of things you deal with right now? How do you think about this? How do you feel about that? There's different things, and mainly coming from the emotional thought pattern first, okay, because we believe that the thoughts and emotion has a very, very significant impact on the physical body. Okay?
Doctor, let me stop you. Would you say that you can think yourself sick and maybe even talk yourself sick? Is that far-fetched to say now?
Our mental attitudes, our thought patterns, how we restrict ourselves with pain, worrying, those things find a place within the body. Those thoughts and patterns are very, very powerful. Thoughts are energy. So energy is going to find a place somewhere. So if you are thinking, worrying about the same thing that happened to you, years and years ago, you're still living in that state of mind. And so, again, that's negative, restricted energy. And so, yes, you do create your own disease. And as well as you can create your own disease, you can create your own health, okay? Because health is a state of mind. It varies in degrees. It depends on your knowledge base for balancing your whole self. The degree of your health lies in the understanding that we are not just a physical being, but we are made of emotions, feelings, our spirit connectiveness to oneness of man, nature, and the intelligence. So it's our knowledge based on all of that we ever create disease or we create good health.
Right. You look around these days, and I'm gonna throw this one question out here, and I'm gonna bounce it back off. But you look around and you see more and more people are becoming more conscious. What they put into their bodies, and they'll tell you, hey, a hamburger is 99 cents. And a salad is $5, Well, and I'd be like, well, hell, cancer treatments, what I'm saying, is a little bit more than a salad. So how do you kind of incorporate that and get people to understand it? Hey, man, this is your health we're talking about. You're going to go cheap on your health, Well, how would you kind of, that?
I always tell people that you're going to pay the piper either way. You can pay him now by you taking the money and getting the good food that you need, okay? Or you can use that money at the end where you got to be buying medication, you got to be buying whatever you need to buy to deal with your health. So you're going to pay the piper either way. The other thing is when you're buying foods that is not, you're hurting yourself. When you cheat your body, you can't really cheat your body because your body has an intelligence within itself. So you're going to feel it. Either way, it's going to catch up with you. So it makes better sense to try to love ourselves enough to say, hey, let me eat just a little bit better. Let me eat more vegetables. Let me drink more water. Because you're going to pay the piper either way, either now or you're going to pay him later.
Right. And I think you might want to pay him now. You dig?
I think you might want to pay him now, right.
Right. Preventative before we even get there.
Right.
Get off the bleach the sugar and all that,
Right.
Discipline. It's so hard for us sometimes. Like, I want these cupcakes, I want the cookies, I want the chips, and it's chemicals, man. It's like I didn't realize that sugar was a drug. I didn't know that,
Yes, sugar is a drug.
It wreaks havoc on the body.
Yes, it does.
So, Dr. Man, I thank you so much for being on. And just to all our listeners, she will be back. We have so many things we're going to get into, and we're going to be going to her. We're going to be laying out all types of shows, and things like, why is it? Have you looked up in the last 20, 30 years, basically 20 years, and you're seeing all these dialysis clinics in the you look up and kids of autism, and Dr. Men, we didn't know nothing about that when we were young, and cancer and how it's jumped up in the community. So we're definitely going to have you back. We thank you so much for being on.
Well, thank you again. And one of the things I really want to expound on the next show that I'm on is really how is disease or how is health created, okay? Because I want people to understand that you have the responsibility, you have the power, you have the responsibility to create what you want. And I think this is part of what this show is about.
Right.
Educating and motivating and empowering people to let people know that you have the power to create what you want. So if you're creating disease for yourself, don't look at yourself as being a bad person, but hey, I can create better health for myself as well. So I just want to leave with that. We do have an office in North Dallas off of Forest Lane. We do take visits by appointments only, and they can email us at lifeboundwellness@gmail.com. Again, that's lifeboundwellness@gmail.com, or they can give us a call at 214-552-6618. That's 214-552-6618. Thank you, Brother Sar. Peace and love, always, light and healing, okay?
Peace and love. Thank you, Dr. Man.
You're welcome.
Peace.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. One of my super friends that will come on, just one. And we could do a whole show, and we're going to do shows on getting our mind, our body, and our spiritual connection back, We shouldn't have to suffer. And as we go on and expand, there's so many different topics that we're going to be bringing on. And she's just one of the many awesome and phenomenal people. Right now, we're getting ready to go to break, so sit back and relax, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence-Coutee.
Yeah, we're back with Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. Yessurr-FM. You just got through hearing Dr. Men, awesome, phenomenal woman and comrade of mine. Again, this show is going to be out the box. We want to create a platform that we could talk about things and elevate our consciousness, elevate our well-being. One of the things and subject matters that we're going to be touching on is the law of attraction and universal laws. And I can honestly tell you, once I discovered the law of attraction, my life changed dramatically. I started thinking different. I started understanding that what you put out comes back to you. These are old universal laws. What you reap, you sow. So if you want goodness in your life, you want to sow the seeds of goodness. If you want positive things in your life, you've got to give positivity. You've got to spread. If you want love, then you first got to be the love. But the science of the mind, the mental, to see it in the mind's eye and then take things from a mental state and actually bring it into a physical state. I have friends and people in different walks of life, and they all tell me the same thing. And all the books, when I first got into the law of attraction, I read a book back in 2007. It was called The Secret. It was written by Linda Byrne. And if you don't have that book, go out and get it. But what Linda Byrne did, she wrote the book, and the book was phenomenal. And she actually had it on Oprah Winfrey's show, and Oprah had everyone on the show, and these were people that were physicists. These were people that were doctors and therapists and multimillionaires. They all said the same thing, and that the universal law of attraction says that what you think about most and put into the universe, it will come back to you. It doesn't matter how if it's positive or negative. It says that the universal law, knows no difference. It only knows what frequency you're on. It only knows if you're thinking about bad health and you're speaking about bad health, you're going to get bad health. So my next guest is Rashad-Harbor. Rashad, I've been knowing him for a long time. I've seen his journey, where he came from. He is a professional rugby player, plays for the Sacramento Pro Rugby team of the United States. So, Rashad, are you online?
I'm online. How you doing, man?
How you doing? How's the weather out there in Sacramento, California? What's going on, man?
It's pretty good. It's going down right now, so we still got light up out here, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, you guys are what 2 hours ahead?
Yeah, we're 2 hours behind, y'all.
Yeah, I mean 2 hours behind. That's right. So y'all still got the sun, man. Well, Rashad, man, it's 7 o'clock. And, how's the weather? To be still beach weather out there? Is it getting cool at night, or what's going on?
Nah, it's to be honest with you, right now it's like a perfect temperature. It's about 80 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Got a light breeze going on, whatnot. It's amazing out here. Like, I love every minute of it.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Rashad, let's just jump right into it, man. I mean, I know you and you know me, and we both know our personal journeys. And like I was saying a while ago, I just seen your transformation, where you were as a young man to where you are today. And I gave you a couple of things, I'm not going to take the credit for everything, you know what I'm saying? But I might have turned you on to some things, you know what I'm saying? But I was just talking about what you visualize, what you see. And can you just, because you're coming back, of course, you're one of my super friends, and we're going to get your whole journey and story and go in depth, about, the law of attraction and actually the power of your mind and thinking positive. But can you give the listeners just a little bit of backstory of your journey? Where you from, and how did you get into rugby, and pretty much, let everybody know that, hey, man, you're a pro rugby player, How did you make that journey,
All right, so basically, I'm from New Orleans. You know, I was born and raised in New Orleans, and until 2005 when Hurricane Katrina came in, and that's basically where everything really kicked off. Because I didn't even know rugby existed until I got to Texas, and so after the hurricane and whatnot, what we did was we went to Texas and we stayed out there. And I got introduced to the game in about 2010. And my family ended up going back, and I had to make a decision. I was like, I always knew like I was going to play some type of sport or whatnot. I was just kind of athletic or whatnot, but I didn't know what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be football, to be honest. Like I played football, I played running back, I played cornerback, kick return, punt return, whatever it is, whatever you needed a skill player or whatnot. And I stumbled upon rugby, and then it was like, man, I'm thinking it was playing football. You know what I mean? Like in New Orleans, I'm used to being able to play football or whatever, pick up games or whatnot. And so I was cut my piece in the back of my trunk. So when I seen the guys out there practicing and whatnot, it's like 7:30, about 7:30. I go over there and I go talk to them, and I see the ball, and it's like it's like a mutated football. You know what I mean? It's like the first time I seen it, I was like, what is this? You know? And I was talking to the team or whatnot, and the coach come over there and talk to me or whatever, ask me a couple questions, introduced me to some of the players and everything. And I remember I felt good about it. You know what I mean? It was like it was so different, and it was like, for me, especially coming from New Orleans, I'm from New Orleans, like rugby, like I'm a football player. You know what I mean? So,
No, I was laughing because you're an inner city kid from New Orleans, and
exactly.
You wanted to play pro football, and somebody said, "Have you ever thought about rugby?" You know?
Yeah.
That?
You should check it out, man. You should check it out. Look it up on YouTube. This, that, and third. Then they gave me like this big old speech or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Had me kind of feeling pumped. I was like, back to the house. I looked it up on YouTube, and I'm like looking at it. And I'm like, man, these dudes is tackling, and they ain't even got no helmet on, no shoulder pads, or nothing. And like at first, my first reaction was like, man, these dudes crazy. Like they gonna get hurt. Then I like actually looked into it, and I was like, nah, it's not as bad as you think. And then I was like, man, you know what? I could still use this to stay in shape for football. So I went out maybe the first year I probably came to maybe 2 or 3 practices or whatever, and then it was like I played a couple games. They would honestly let me play without practicing, so it kind of made it a little easier for me and whatnot. They told me it's crazy because like the coaches, since I didn't go to practice, the coaches would literally tell me, don't worry about anything, just get the ball and just run straight. And if you get tackled, we'll ruck over you. Ruck is like my teammates come in and protect the ball because the ball is still live when I get tackled. Rugby is completely different from football because it's non-stop like soccer. So I get in, and it's like my first game I scored 3 times. And like from that point on, it was like, man, I fell in love with it. It was completely different from football, man. It was like with football, you have the helmet on, and it's like when you're running and whatnot, it shakes a little bit, so it messes up your vision. Then the face mask, it limits your actual vision. And as a running back or wide receiver, you kind of messing up my vision or whatnot. If I could see everything around me, I can make better moves or whatnot. And on the rugby field, like it's like once I got the ball, it's like since I can see everything, it's like it's so much easier for me to evade players and know when to pass it or whatever. And it's like, man, I fell in love with it, man. But the journey. Let me
ask you this, Rashad. You saying that you scored 3 touchdowns in your first rugby game, and this is your first rugby game.
Yeah.
You never played it.
We call it we actually call it when you score, we call it a try. TRI. Like it stems from a try awarded, which is what they used to say. So it's like basically they're trying to score, and it's like the try was good or the try was awarded. So they broke it down instead of saying try awarded, they call it a try. So instead of a touchdown, they call it a try.
So let me ask you this, and you started playing in the Dallas leagues, but you began to get better and better, and you played for different teams. And can you talk about how did you go from playing in Dallas just locally to regionally and nationally in some of your travels? I mean, you were people were looking at you. You were that good.
Yeah. Okay. So I ended up having this tournament or whatnot. I think it was the second year. My second year playing this guy named Mike Harvey. Before, since I just got into the sport, I didn't really know who he was. but he actually used to play for the USA national team, and he was pretty good. Like, he's got highlight tapes online, and it's like, I'm talking about, it's 7 minutes of highlights, and this dude is not getting touched one time. Like, they give him the ball, and he just burn off, and nobody can catch him. And so he's retired or whatnot. He was playing at the tournament, and I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, man, this old dude is out there playing. He's like, I say old, but he's like really like 35. You know what I mean? I'm like looking, I'm like, man, all right. So he plays and whatnot. Now I'm looking, I'm on the other side of the field, and it's like I can see this dude just doing jukes and burning off on my teammates. I'm like, man, what is going on? Like, y'all let this old dude, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go over there. So I switched sides, and now I'm guarding him. And he had one big break. He swung to the other side of the field. He broke it, and I ended up chasing him down. And he jumped up after the tackle. I remember him looking up, and he said, "Okay, youngster," just like that. And he went back in, and then I got the ball one time, and I ended up scoring. So after the game was over with, he comes up to me. He's like, man, let me talk to you. They called me over. We talked. One night he sit me down, and he told me who he was. He told me he used to play for the USA team. He got a cousin. He used to also play for the USA team. And we also have this rugby team that's a select side. It's the All Black Lions, which is all of the best African-American players that play rugby in the United States. And he told me that he wanted me to hook up with them and wanted me to play in a tournament with him. So I'm like, okay, cool. I talked to him one night, and then he was like, he told me something, and it was like, this is exactly like what changed everything. He was like, man, right now you could tell, like, you don't even know the game. But it's like, you're good enough to play at an international level right now. He said, what you need to do is you need to focus in, and you need to really take it seriously. You take it seriously, you can make something happen. And it was like, I sat there and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, really? I played this game last year, and this is my second year. I don't even know this sport. And you telling me this? It was like, you know what? If you've already been there, it's like, I know for a fact you know what has to be inside somebody. And it's like, he told me this stuff. This is exactly what he told me. And it's like, it's crazy because he asked me this question. He said, the first thing that you need to do is stop playing with these guys and go outside of Texas. He said, you got to go outside of Texas so that you can get exposure and you can get seen by the right people. And he gave me the names of a couple of teams and whatnot. And he told me that if I needed anybody to vouch for me, that he would vouch for me. And I was like, okay, cool. So the first thing that I did, I'm talking about like maybe next 2 to 3 weeks, I left the team that I was with, and I went to this other team. And we ended up traveling. We traveled to California. We traveled to Denver. We went to Atlanta and Ohio. And when we went to Glendale, this is big because this is where I ended up going. When we went to Glendale, we had a game, and Glendale is like the best stadium for rugby in America. Excuse me. So we go to the stadium and everything. We play, and it's like we got this huge thing. It seats 5,000 people, and it's sold out. So we planning and everything, and then it's like after the game, there's like a bar on top of the stadium. So we go in there and we congregating and everything, but all of the players are talking and everything. This guy comes talk to me and whatnot, and I found out he's the owner of the team, and he's also the mayor of the city. And
okay, look, Rashad, I got to jump in here. Let me ask you something, and I'm going to set this up. So you went from playing in Dallas to playing regional ball, and now you're meeting owners and but I got to ask you this. I got to jump back. I got to jump back on point and say, at that time when that coach told you you're this good and you don't even know the game.
It wasn't a coach, it was a player.
Okay, a player told you that.
Player.
But yeah. When did you realize, and then I got to go back into what I'm asking you, that, man, you know what? I'm actually manifesting what I'm speaking. What time in your life, in your journey, did you say, you know what, mentally, you know what I'm saying, everything that I'm asking for, and I didn't understand this at first, but it's starting to happen because right now you're a pro player. It's like everything in your journey happened. Take me back and just real quick, you know what I'm saying, and say, when did it change mentally, and you understood that mentally you was manifesting everything that you was putting out there?
It was when I got to Glendale. Like after I got to Glendale, like the the first day I literally jumped off the plane and went to the stadium. And before I left, like I was telling myself, well, this is it. I told me like I needed to go somewhere where I get exposure. And Glendale is the best. It's Rugby Town, USA. So if I go there, I'm going to get the exposure. And they're on TV. It's not pro, but it's on TV, and they pay to get in. So when I get to Glendale, I go to the stadium, and the USA team is on the field. Now I'm trying to strive to get to where I can see the USA coaches, and they could meet me, and this, that, and the third, and I can have my shot. And it's like as soon as I get there, the day that I get there, the USA team is on the field practicing. I got to meet the coach, I got to meet the coaches, and I got to meet all of the players.
So at that moment, you understood, hey man, this is it. This is what I've been asking for. This is what I've been manifesting, materializing.
Yeah. And I told myself, I said, you know what? If it's gonna happen, it's gotta happen soon. So I'm gonna give myself 2.5 years. I was gonna give myself 2.5 years to go pro, and I was gonna stop. That was in 2012, 2013. That was in 2013. So I got there, boom. 2.5 years later, I signed my contract. But I'm there. Now I understand. Another thing. Like, okay, so I'm out in Glendale. After 7-8 months, my head coach ended up being selected to make an Olympic Development Academy. So he calls in players from all around the country and everything to fill up the academy, and also puts me in it. So now, not only did I meet the USA team, it's like now I'm in the Olympic Development Academy. So it's like when I tell you like everything that I'm manifesting, basically I manifested everything that I saw. Like once he told me that, it's like I wrote down my goals, and I just said, you know what, the only thing that I can really completely control is my effort. And
no, Rashad, let me stop you right there. You said I wrote out my goals. Tell me. You mean to tell me when you put them on paper, and let me stop and say this, you have to put it on paper. If you're trying to manifest anything in your life, it's easier when you can actually write it down and see and think about mentally the steps you're going to take to get to where you want. So you put it on paper. What were some of the things you put on paper? And did you give yourself a time that by 6 months I'm going to do this? I mean, how was it once you locked in to what you really wanted and you put it out there? Like, what did you put down? What did you put on that paper?
Okay, so first thing I did is I set my long-term goals. My first and foremost, most important one to me was I wanted to be able to play football, and that led me to South Africa, and I'll be able to travel the whole continent and retrace my roots, this and third. Second one was I wanted to make it was like a kind of a milestone to get there. I had to make it to making it to one of those academies. Then the third one was to get contract. So within all of those, I set up small milestones or whatnot to hit along the way. Basically, like I know if I'm hitting this milestone, I'm still going the right way. But it's like it took a lot of preparation. You know what I mean? Like like I say, when I write it down, it's like I would literally make my notes or whatnot this day, and then like a couple weeks later, I'm looking at it again, making sure I'm on track or whatever, and then I'm adding to it. And it's like what I learned was time. Time is everything. Time and patience. You have to understand that like patience isn't just sitting steady waiting for something to come true. Patience is what you do while you're waiting on it to come true. So you could be slouching around waiting on it to come true, or you could be putting in work making sure that it comes true. The more work that you put in as far as effort while you're being patient, the faster your dream will come true. It's like you put in that work. Yeah, you put in that work, but you're patiently waiting. You know what I'm saying? If you nothing is gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen overnight. So it's like whatever it is, you gotta pace yourself with it. But you knew it was gonna happen. I mean, it's like you saw all of this and you believed that hard that the work that I'm doing. Because Rashad, man, look, you're a pro athlete.
And, you know where you came from. I mean, I just saw a video game earlier. You on a damn video game?
I know, man.
I know the journey, you know what I'm saying? But I just saw you on a video game, and I know you won your first pro game. You know what I'm saying? I know you were all up in the magazines. You know, you were the face of pro rugby, a brand new American rugby league that got launched in America. Rashad-Harbor was the face on AOL. You were the man. You know, you were the man. It's like all of these things, and it's amazing, man. Because like I said, I know you and I know your journey, that where you came from, and this stuff actually works. I mean, you are living testimony, man, that thoughts actually become things and dreams become true. You know, as we get ready to wind it up, man, we're going to the top of the hour. I got about 5 minutes to have you. Could you give me something, man? Give me some inspiration, and just what did it? Is it magic? Is it spooky? I mean, is it real?
Nah, it's like this, man. It's like we made up of energy. You know what I mean? And like you said earlier, that frequency, you have to understand that. You have to look inside of yourself, and once you find yourself, like my biggest thing is like what my mind frame changed. And my mind frame was, we went from New Orleans, you know what I mean, and surviving in New Orleans to, you know what, I have greatness in me. And nobody else is going to pull it out of me. I got to pull it out of myself.
That's right.
For me to pull it out of myself, I have to look within myself. You feel me? And what that did was it made me open my eyes to everything. So I started everything that I was educated with before. I'm okay with it, but I'm re-educating myself in all areas. And the mind is amazing. And one of the things, maybe, you got to be careful what you put in your mind. And it's like we're saying, you can manifest what you want. You got to also understand that means that your mind is that powerful. And if you're putting in BS or not, then that's adding negative weight to your mind. If you could control your thoughts, anything is possible. But the first thing that you got to do is you got to understand how to control your thoughts. And the first thing to do that is to block all the negative stuff and just center yourself. You know what I'm saying? Take time to yourself and then learn what you're good at. What's your skill? What's your blessing? And once you find what your blessing is, increase upon it. Always work to make sure that nobody can do that better than you. And when you find that, basically all it is what you like, what you have a passion for. Everybody that plays on my team, it's just that they found their passion and they refuse to stop driving for what they love to do. And it's like, no, it's like they put in that work and they're here. But it's like the work isn't over just because you done got to your goal. Like, my responsibilities have kicked up like almost tenfold. You know what I mean? It's like it's an amazing place to be, but at the same time, it's still as many trials that I've had before to get here. It's that many more in front of me. But it's like, because I went through the ones before, I understand that nothing that's ahead of me is going to be overbearing to me. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I understand mentally, like, everything that happens for a reason. And the things that happened in my past set me up to make me who I am now. So it's like, if I went through those things and all those days I thought was my darkest day, this, that, and the third, you walk through it. And it makes you stronger. So it's like, now, all of those things that you went through are setting up for your future. So now when you go through certain situations in your future, you already know how to adapt and adjust to it.
Wow. Rashad, man, I thank you for coming on. I got to have you back on. You know, like I said, tonight is just my super friends coming through, but I would love to go more in depth, you know what I'm saying, man, I remember you was in a car accident and coming from Denver, getting back to Dallas. And I remember
telling them about that, man.
Yeah, and we're going to get into it. Like I say, we're going to do a whole show, man, because you have such a great testimony, man, going from a project kid in New Orleans, man, the murder capital of the world, to now being a pro rugby player, you know what I'm saying, and a superstar at that, the face of pro rugby. And it's just an amazing, amazing story, man. And I got to have you back. We didn't have time tonight, but I would love to get you back and do a whole show and just take us through how did you do it and the power of the mind. Because, hey, man, like I said, when you got in the car accident, I remember you said, I healed myself. You know what I'm saying? I didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I would tell him about it. I would tell him about it, man. Like you would have thought after a car wreck like that, man, you'd have thought that all of the career and everything was over. You feel me? But it's like I built myself, and then look where I'm at now. You know, it's crazy.
Hey, it's a phenomenal journey, and we've got to get the rest of the story. Rashad, man, I thank you for taking out your time. You know what I'm saying? I know, you're pro athlete, and you know what I'm saying, we're on different coasts, but man, I appreciate you calling in for my first show, man, and I've got to have you back on, brother. I've got to have you back on, man.
There's no problem at all, man. I'm here when you need me, bro. I appreciate you for having me, man.
Hey, much success, man. I'm going to get my flight out there and come catch some games, bro.
Already. Look, we got the VIP seats where you can sit on the field, so I got you, bro.
Hey, hook me up, man.
Let me know when you're ready. Let me know
All
when
right.
you're ready.
All right, man.
All right,
that was YouTube, Rashad-Harbor, man, Sacramento pro rugby team. Getting ready to go to a break, but we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence-Coutee.
Welcome back to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. I am Ausar-Sara, also known as Lawrence-Coutee. What a great show. I'd like to thank my guest, Dr. Men-Rashad-Harbor, and I'd like to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in. For the first show, I think it was phenomenal. Looking forward to the future. Looking forward to having more of my super friends and special guests come on. We are truly living our life. We are truly living the life that we put out there. We're truly living our purpose. And if this show inspired you, if it gave you the information, if the show moved you to start looking at yourself and making decisions in your life to be a better person, to spread love, to get your health in order, because health is truly wealth. If it gave you heard Rashad's story and it gave you inspiration to say, you know what, dreams do come true. If I can see it in the mind's eyes and I truly can hold it in my hand, then that's what this show is all about. And we truly did what we're supposed to do. And again, I'm super excited. I've got to say one more shout out to Mr. Kenneth Rose and the whole staff at Yessurr-FM for giving me the platform. And as I get ready to wrap up, I just want to give everybody some motivation as I get ready to wrap up my first show and close the show, that truly you are phenomenal. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being having a spiritual experience. You have been blessed with power, the power of the mind. You've been blessed to go inside yourself and see it. And actually, before you be it, you got to see it. There's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you're going through in your life right now that it won't turn around. Before and after the storm, the rain, after the rain, the sun will shine again. Stay motivated, stay positive, keep pressing towards the mark. And that, again, family, this is the type of show that I've been blessed and what the Creator have put on my heart to bring to you, the listening audience. There's nothing you can't do. Whether you're a musician, you're an artist, you're a painter, you aspire to have a degree, you're never too old. It's never too late to start. It's never too early to start. We're not going to be put in a box, as I love to say. We're going to go outside the box and say, you know what, yes, I can. Because a show like Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, it inspires me to be better. It inspires me to look at my dreams and begin to put them on paper. This show tonight is one of my dreams, and I'm going to keep doing other things. I'm going to keep manifesting and creating a platform that other people can come on and share their journeys. So I thank all of you for listening again. This is I am Ausar-Sara, also known as Lawrence-Coutee. You've been listening to Whole Mind, Body, and Soul. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. Peace, love, Enlighten.
Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
You have been listening to the Get Global Network podcast of Whole Mind, Body, and Soul, hosted by Lawrence-Coutee. You can hear Whole Mind, Body, and Soul Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific Time on Yessurr-FM, one of the original member stations of the Get Global Network. Listen to Yessurr-FM and other member stations of the Get Global Network on the go by installing any of the Get Global Network apps like So Metro Magazine, Grassroots Salute, Agtown Nation, or Big Red Radio Nation for your cell phone. The apps are available for download on both Google Play and iTunes app stores. Take the time to subscribe to our podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, or the Spreaker Podcast Network.